Okay, Don, we are getting going. I can see people starting to pour into the from the waiting room. They're starting to come into our webinar. So I always start like that's a good sign. People are coming in to talk with us.
Well, it's good because we have a lot to say, Nate. We're
We
ready.
do.
We're ready for action over here. They better start pouring in.
We do. We have a lot we've already had a lot to talk about, however, haven't we? I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as all of our participants are joining us, I wanted to take an opportunity just to start and say thank you so much for joining us, Don. I know how busy you are. Getting your time is it's precious, and I really do genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you doing this. So thank you so much for carving out this time.
Well, we're all busy. You know what I mean? I'm just busy on different things than maybe other people are. But no, it's hey, this is my job. My job is to talk about the PGA professionals, show them the tools that you guys are providing and the PGA is providing to make their lives a little bit better and grow this game. So no, my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to our time together.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Well, with us today is Don Rea, our 44th president of the PGA of America. We were just talking 23 years as a PGA member, 25-ish years as a coach. You've got some history, man. I love it.
I've been out there. I've been out there on Saturday morning with 12 juniors when my little assistant didn't show up. So I was trying to manage 12 at the same time, or my slicers clinic on a Sunday that I used to do for $7 a person back in the day to try to pay my mortgage payment and watch everybody with the same exact problems, right? Coming over the top with a weak grip. I mean, I've been there.
It's the truth, man. It is the truth. Well, welcome everybody for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We do have Don Rea with us, and just a couple of housekeeping pieces here. We are monitoring the chat, or I'm sorry, the question and answer function of our webinar. This is going to be recorded, so we will post it to our social media channels. We'll get it out there to everyone who's been able to attend. But please send in any questions you might have for Don or for Onform in that Q&A section. Just quick introduction. My name is Nate Hairgrove. I'm the Director of Business Development here at Onform. Been with the company since we started almost 5 years ago. And we're growing and we're excited to be here. And like I mentioned a few minutes ago, Don Rea is with us, and we're excited to talk about today the partnership between PGA Coach and Onform. And it was a little over almost a full year ago that we started to have some conversations, and we knew that PGA Coach was looking to update what they had out there as far as their video piece, and they started to look at different companies, and conversations started, and we were able to really kind of dive in deep with your team and really kind of get into the weeds and show what Onform was capable of, and out of that became this partnership, and we are really excited to kind of dive in today, talk about the partnership. And then on number 4 here that I'm showing the screen is let's talk about the future of coaching. I mean, that's what you're passionate about, Don. I know you are. I've watched your interviews. I've listened to you on YouTube when we've talked, and we want to talk about that future of coaching. So I'm really looking forward to kind of jumping into that a little bit. And then we'll certainly kind of maybe show a little bit of the PGA Coach and Onform partnership for towards the end. So without any further ado, I would love to just start. I'm showing this screen right here, Don. I know you and I can see each other, but I don't know if you can see the screen. I'm showing this screen. It's this little Venn diagram. I've got the PGA Coach on one side, got Onform on the other side, and I've got the future of coaching right in the middle. I want to start with this question. The state of the PGA Coach. Talk to us about just the current state of the PGA Coach.
Well, I think the PGA of America, we were looking at PGA Coach for a long time, this platform where we were doing the ADM training and making sure that we had, remember the reason we did ADM training because the United States Olympic Committee came to us and said, listen, we want to do ADM for all sports. And it turns out kids need to play multiple sports in order to be good at one sport. So golf, it might be your first sport, but I know it's the best second sport around, right? You're going to play it sooner or later. And so when we looked at PGA Coach, okay, that's one aspect of it. But what is PGA Coach? And to me, that is the essence of the PGA professional. This is what we do all the time. We're coaching up our staff to make sure that we're operating the course better, into the experience of it all, or we're coaching up our students. And so I know for me, the essence of PGA Coach for the PGA of America right now, it is the future of what we're going to do. We're always going to be great mentors and coaches, but our position has to be out of the office and onto the green grass. We have to be on the practice green, the putting green, the first tee. We got to be on the golf course with our students. And we're going to focus highly on that with everything we do with PGA Coach, from the summits to the programs to the technology pieces like you have, and actually to the PGA Coach app.
Hmm. So you've recently wrapped up a little tour of the United States, visiting some PGM programs. I know. Talk to us about the current state of where those are at, because I know that that's our next generation of coaches getting ready to go out onto the green grass, right? Getting ready to step onto the first tee and help coaches. So what's the future like looking for that?
Yeah, I think I've been on tour for 4 years already, right? And I've got 2 years left, but I'm going to see everybody I possibly can. And Nate, I wanted to go to the sections, and I've been to all of them except for two. I'm hitting one this Sunday, Central New York, which I'm excited about. But I started going to the PGM universities. Right now, Nate, we've got 8,000 associates and students in the queue. These are the next PGA professionals. Now, I'm not worried about what they're learning. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is how do they apply it once they get out. There's certainly, I can give you a recipe that doesn't make you a cook. You got to be in the kitchen with mom. You got to be in the kitchen with the chef to understand how to make a good dish. And so that is really what I wanted to see. And I wanted to relay to everybody. Will Robbins and I did this tour. We have hit 6 PGM universities so far. We intend to hit them all by the time I'm done in 19 months. But what I'm seeing and what I'm telling them is the future of the PGA professional, once again, is not in the back office. We had to be bean counters before. We had to count the
Mm.
money because we had to do the spreadsheets because that's what they required as the business manager. And we're good business managers, but we're better business growers. And we can't grow from inside. The way we plant seeds out on the driving range, pushing tees into the ground and doing sessions, playing sessions, and seeing everybody, that's the future of what we're doing. And so with these young men and women, I want to tell them that if you have been told that you're not going to play golf when you're a PGA professional, that's not true. Might have been true in the past, not anymore. We have to build relationships, and relationships happen on green grass or in driving or under driving range covers, right? So that's what I'm telling them, and they are pumped and excited to know that being a PGA professional means that you're going to play some golf with the people that are under your care at your facility.
Isn't it true that relationships are all about connectivity, right? You have to stay connected to those people that you're working with. You're connected with them while they're out grinding on their range session, maybe post a lesson or during a lesson. And you want to be, I've heard stories of sitting in your office and somebody walks in, knocked on the door and go, "Hey, coach, just shot that 68," right? That's that connectivity that we long for as coaches, as athletes. We long for that connectivity with our coach. And throughout our conversation, we're going to weave in the on-form piece of it, but how important is connectivity? Staying connected to that coach.
Well, I think it's everything. I mean, when we built PGA Coach, one of the first aspects of it was the data capture piece, so that a PGA professional had the data, had the information of all their students. Some guys had it on an Excel spreadsheet, but the future is, can you take it with you? To me, if I get another job, I want my past job to understand I'm
Mm.
taking my clients with me. That's the power of a PGA professional. But better yet, when I talk to golf course owners and try to explain to them that I think a PGA professional is not an expense. I think they're a cost of goods sold. You put money into us, we're going to double that, triple that, quadruple it for that facility. But it doesn't happen because of an algorithm or some financial model. It simply happens because we build relationships. The reason PGA professionals become PGA professionals is because we love this game, but we also love the people that love this game. And
Mm.
that's the difference. All those other associations are out there. I love them and they're part of the golf ecosystem. But at the end of the day, a PGA professional builds relationships. And to your point, that builds loyalty, and that loyalty results in sustainability for that business. So if you want your business to thrive, not just survive, then you're definitely going to get a PGA professional out of the office and onto the turf so they can build those relationships.
I have to imagine the next generation loves hearing that. Let's get out on the grass, because there has been a thought of, I'm going to be a PGA professional and it's going to be shirt folding and behind a register and in my office getting scorecards and everything ready for the next tournament. And while all of that is important, there's still that personalization piece of it, right? Like we still have to stay with our members, with our students, and that's part of why PGA Coach and Onform started this relationship way back when, was just the connectivity of utilizing this bad boy, right?
Yeah.
You've got kids, I've got kids. We're connected to the hip. Hey, Dad, I need. It's the text message. It's the funny meme. It's the video that we just took when we're on vacation. That culture is here and it's here to stay. So now when we get into coaching, how do we stay connected with our athletes using technology? That's where Onform comes into play. So let's maybe shift just a titch here with when it comes to connectivity, when it comes to relationships with our students. Maybe run us through the history of before there was, back when there was no connectivity, maybe the old VHS camera on the shoulder to where we're at now. How have you seen the market grow to what we have today?
Hey, I did the VHS on my shoulder, at Augusta Ranch when I wanted to do video lessons, because some people, that's the best way for them to learn, is they have to see themselves. And so why wouldn't you provide that? I think about the ping scheduling book that we gave
Mm,
every PGA professional for years. Well, at some point we had to iterate out of that. We had to evolve into something better so that we could keep track of these relationships. And I think, to your point, right now that's what's expected, and it doesn't matter if they're 70 or 7. Between those age groups, they want to know that you're listening. They want to know that when you text them, they're going to answer, or when when they post something on Instagram, that you saw it and that you liked it, or shared it. Then that's where I think where this all had to generate into PJ Coach. It had to come about this way, and of making sure that, I think that the PGA of America has to provide the PGA professional kind of a basic toolbox. It's like when you buy your house for the first time, you need somebody gives you a toolbox. Now, it's not every tool, but it's the tools that'll fix most everything you need to do. I think the PGA needs to do that. And I think us focusing on PGA Coach and allowing other applications to write into our software so that
mm.
the database stays with the PGA professional on PGA Coach, so they always own it. But then you can tap into whatever technologies you want. To me, Onform was going to be the perfect selection for that. You guys keep it very simple. Once again, if you want to fix a diesel machine, I guess you could get something crazy. But if I'm teaching 5 hours a week, like we say with the modern PJ coach, or I'm going to teach 50 hours a week because I just love it, I need a tool that can get me there. And that's what I like about it. If I was going to have to get out of the ecosystem of PGA Coach to share my videos, I don't know if this relationship would be as solid as it is. The reason I'm super excited about what we're doing is I can stay inside of the PGA Coach app, simply hit that record button, and then boom, I'm on my way. And I can share videos back and forth. Even right now, Nate, I'm traveling quite a bit, but one of my students, Dr. Swain, the guy who makes me all the Jordans, right? The guy's famous because of the Jordans he's made me.
Mm-hmm.
He can send me videos through PGA Coach. I can check them out. So even though I can't be with him in person, he can shoot a couple of videos of his swing and say, "Hey, coach, what's wrong?" And then I can let him know. And now I know how he learns. And that's why I don't think this will ever be completely AI driven. AI is going to
Right.
assist me in doing the job, but I know how to deliver that information to my student in the way in which it really resonates with them, because I've been with them. I know them. I've learned how they learn, and I learned how they react quickly and get better quicker.
You are spot on, and that's something that I know we've talked about with a lot of PGA professionals is AI is the assistant. It's not going to replace the human element, the human touch, the Ben Hogan getting your hands on. Like it's never going to replace that, but it can be an amazing assistant coach. And what makes a really good coaching team is good assistants. It's not just the head coach, it's really good assistants. So that could be an assistant. And that's how Onform has seen AI. We utilize it. We utilize AI all the time. I'm sure you've used ChatGPT all the time. I've heard you say, like, if it could write emails for me, I'd love it. Right? We agree.
Well, and I think, yeah, I mean, we're the doctors of the game, right? There's a big, thick book this big saying that we're the doctors of the game. And I thoroughly believe that. Now, if I'm going to go to the doctor, I don't want the doctor using every technology piece at their disposal so they can find out what's wrong with me. Yes. But at the end of the day, the doctor's going to coordinate with me the treatment plan and work with me and tell me, hey, you gotta eat less, Don, or you gotta eat better food, or you need to work out and get on the treadmill. He's doing that in a way because he's invested in me, because he's my family doctor. And I
Mhm.
think that's what happens with PGA professionals. We become that doctor for them of their game, and a way to get them more involved with their families. So, yeah, I think AI, you talk about PGM students. I'll never forget, I told the kids I was writing a speech, and I said, I'm going to write a joke for this speech. Actually, I'm going to have Chat GPT write the joke. And so it
Mhm.
did. And I said, write me a funnier joke, Chat GPT. And it did. And I read that joke to the kids that night at the PGM University Championship. And I read it horribly, Nate, and nobody laughed. Nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I said, that's why ChatGPT can't deliver the joke. It can write it, but how I deliver the joke is what makes it funny. How I deliver a golf lesson is how it becomes impactful. And that's why we want your technology to continue to accelerate so that we give the best to our PGA professionals, all the while keeping it very simple, but knowing
Mhm.
that at the cornerstone of this is the PGA professional delivering the information to get people better faster.
That's better, faster, and make it easy to understand. It's got to be digestible, right? We can get
Amen.
into, you could go down a diatribe within the golf swing alone, and you could get so lost in everything. But Mrs. Havocamp just wants to know, is my grip, is my posture, is my alignment right? And am I able to get that ball in the air and continue to have fun? We got to be able to digest it as consumers, right? And one thing Onform does is makes it easy. We're not just a very simple and easy app to use, we're also innovative. We've had multiple coaches say, man, what's next? What's new? And as long as you're continuing to push that envelope to show you what's next and what's new, I think Onform is going to be a pretty good player in the game. One thing as we continue the conversation, I wanted to kind of just start to jump into and show my iPad, hopefully here in just a second, is just the integration. Let's talk for a quick second about the PGA Coach and Onform. And something that a couple of questions have come in already is just how does it work? What does it look like? So, Don, are you able to see my screen? I hope so. You can see my app, my
Yeah,
iPad.
I can see it. Yeah. And as you click through, let me just say something real fast. The reason this relationship is really important to us is I'm going to have PGA professionals who are 22 years old, fresh out of school, or 20 years old, went through the, our associate or PGM program or a PGA associate program. But you also have to have a tool for the 65-year-old PGA professional who's retiring and subsidizing their retirement by giving lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like the fact that it's going to be very intuitive for the 20 and 30-year-old. But for the 50, 60, 70-year-old, maybe not so much. And this is why your support staff being able to either chat in there or call somebody and go, I don't understand how I can't get these lines off the screen. How do I fix that? And hey, I want to use that 3D modeling deal that you talked about. How do I do that? This is why we partnered with you
Mm-hmm.
because it can't just be a hands-free device because we know that 20-year-olds will figure it out. Our 70-year-olds might not. And if I'm giving a hope clinic and I'm doing it to subsidize our retirement, I want to use the PJ Coach tools and know that they're super easy so I can give them to, that veteran right then and there and go, hey, this is what's wrong with your swing. So I love that you're doing that. So yeah, click away. What do you got for me
Yes,
here?
absolutely. No, I love that because you're exactly right. We do have 20-year-olds who don't need a demo. They can pick up any app, figure it out, and I'm gone. I'm good. Let's go. And then I do have the 40, 50, 75-year-olds. We have a 75-year-old coach in Colorado who has figured this out, but yet still needs help. So goes into the app. I need support, and our team gets right back to him. We have an amazing support team. So
Yeah,
this is
and good luck, Nate, right? I mean, say you download some app on your phone. And by the way, I know that you've got the Android coming soon. I had some
hmm
PJ members go, where's Android? It's coming, it's coming.
hmm
But I think you can probably get some cheaper apps out there on the App Store. Okay. Are you going to get any amount of support whatsoever? Are you going to be able to access the database from PJ Coach and the relationships and the students you already have? No. So, there's just a lot of positives to why we bridge this gap with you. And I'm glad we're working with you.
Yeah, one of the things we tell people is we're actually humans behind the app. When you call that
Amen.
phone number, I'm going to pick up. Our support team will pick up. We'll show you inside how you can actually reach out to get help. We offer free demos. We offer free support. You have to. This is a tool within your toolbox. And if you don't know how to change the bit or work on the drill to make the tool work, that's why you have us, right? So to your point about the Android, quick note, our co-founders just flew over to India and spent a whole week with our development team and our product team. And that was at the very top of the list is working to increase our Android offering. And it is in the works as we speak right now. So I'm not going to give a date because they would slap me on the hand. That's easy for me to say, but it is absolutely in the works. So let's jump in and click a few things. So inside the
Well,
PGA Coach app, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, you can tell them to slap my hand. You tell them that the president of the PGA says, we need that Android app. All right. There you go.
There it is. Yeah, we said by Friday. No, just isn't. Just
Right.
So here's what I've done is I've created a couple of fake accounts. Well, fake as in the names. The people are real. This is my son Connor's account inside the PGA Coach app. When I click on his name, again, I'm in the Coach app. I'm going to click on this record button. And immediately, if I have my Onform account set up and it will link, you can see the corner of my desk here, it's ready to record. we thought through this going, hey, if I hit the record button, launch on form and go right into recording. So I don't need to touch a bunch of things. I'm just going to go. Let me show everyone one more time just how simple that really is. So I'm inside the PGA Coach app. I'll go to the Connor Hairgrove, click on the record button, and it goes into his workspace and on form, creates a workspace for him, and we're ready to record. You're on the lesson tee ready to give a lesson. You don't need to be touching and tapping and moving around. We want to make it easy. So let's record that video. Again, this is the corner of my desk. It's not much to look at, but there's this. There's the videos inside his workspace. Here's another workspace inside that I've created. This is the Ace Meg. My son's middle name is Ace, actually. I can't believe my wife let me name him that, but here he is over here. Here's the video that we recorded, and that's the 3D you were talking about. And our 3D is unique, Don, because we came out with it and we're very specific in how we release our 3D. This has been in the works for a couple of years now because we want to make sure that it is simple to understand, it's fast and reliable, and it can be done very, very succinctly on a one camera angle. One question I get all the time is, when is the data coming? When am I going to start to see numbers? And we're actually in the process of testing it against gold standards. The AMM, the Vicon, the OptiTrack, we're testing what we have against that. Before we release a number, because you only get one chance to earn trust, we want to make sure that we're sending it out properly. So get the video. I can show things like hand path tracing. I can show different movements of what's happening. And from that video, I had the full 3D capability to move it around. And all this is done from just an iPhone and an iPad. It's that simple. So I had a student in Michigan. I live in South Carolina. This morning, the dad sent me a video of his son saying, hey, can you take a look at this? And I said, give me a face on or down the line with your cell phone in auto detect, send it to me. I'll take a look at it. 2-3 minutes. I did couple of quick drawings through the box kind of a thing. Just, I'm making some fun lines up real quick. Did a voiceover, sent it back to him. And he said, that's amazing. All in between my cup of coffee and things like that. So I've done my recording, Don, and here's what I think is really cool. I can long press on this video, hit the share button. I think I'm in the right workspace. Let me make sure. Share to PGA Coach. Oh, I was in the wrong workspace. That's on me. Go back to Connor's workspace here.
A demo wouldn't be a demo if it didn't have a mistake in it, Dave. But believe me, I've done a million of these.
I love it. I always do that, and I'm like, you see, this is my other problem. I have so many Connor hair growths.
Right, there you go.
Only one real one. And there it is. I've shared the video back to PGA Coach, and in his video lessons and things like that are the videos that I actually recorded. So you can share them internally through Onform, invite them and work back and forth. You can share them over to PGA Coach and work through there. Part of our draw to work with PGA Coach is that you have an amazing scheduler. You have amazing coaches that are using this app day in and day out. We're really, really good at technology. Let us provide that for you.
Well, and I think, that's why, let's be honest. I mean, the PGA initially started looking at, could we build this tool ourselves? And maybe we could have, but an entrepreneurial company is always going to be way more innovative than the PGA of America. I mean, let's be honest, we're a big ship. I got 31,000 members. We've got majors on every tour. We're trying to change the world every day, and we're out there doing it. But were we going to be innovative enough on the software side to keep up with the entrepreneurs out there? And I think the answer was going to be no. And so, well, actually, I know the answer was going to be no. And so that's why I like what we teamed up with you, because like I said, your business side and the innovation side on the technology is what we really wanted. The ability for a 20-year-old or a 70-year-old to understand it is what we wanted. And then I think some would say, well, Don, why is it costing money? Why can't it just be included? Well, you kind of get what you pay for. I mean, I'm sure we could have cut some deal with somebody and said, okay, it's going to be included, and they'll use it 4 times and go, this was terrible. Is that really what we want? I mean, for me, $299 a year and get 10% off that. So, carve $30 off that. I get to use this tool unlimited, right? Throughout the year with my PGA coach, with all my PGA coach students. And now I know that I can call you and say, hey, I've got a question. This isn't making sense. And I don't understand the chat room. I can't get it going, right? Because there's some people that it's hard. The technology side is not so easy for a lot of people. And especially when you got 31,000 members, right? Everybody's a little bit different in what they're really strong at. So To me, yes, I think that it's worth it. I've told everybody at Augusta Ranch, listen, man, $299 a year, get 10% off of that, and you've got a tool that anybody could use. This should be the basic tool set for every PGA
Mhm.
professional there. And now the PGA coach, this is another thing. If I dive into something, Nate,
Please.
you know, it's not completely to you guys, but PGA Coach Plus just opened up. Now, in the past, PGA members only could be on PGA.coach. And so, okay, that's good. But is it? What if I've got some associates at Augusta Ranch? Maybe I've got somebody who's not a PGA member, but they're teaching at Augusta Ranch because they're just really good at a certain subset of students. Maybe it's disabled, right? And because
Mhm.
Coach Roland at Augusta Ranch, he's not a PGA member. Is he able now to get on PGA Coach? Yes. And some would say, well, why isn't it only PGA members on? Listen, are we the best or are we the best? If I say that the PGA professional's on there and I give them a little logo in their corner, do I believe that a consumer will pick a PGA member over a non-PGA member? I hope so. I think they will. We're
Mhm.
background checked. We've got a code of ethics that we all have to live by as PGA members. We've dedicated our lives to this. So I'm not worried about other people being on PGA.coach. And I think for those that really going to dive in and do a full-time teaching, being on PGA Coach Plus for that additional 25 bucks a month or $250 a year, why not? So at the
Mhm.
end of the day, this is the perfect tool for a PJ coach to have, so that they can go and start their teaching business tomorrow, and
Mm.
and know that they'll be able to use this. It's going to be very hard for them to outgrow it because you're going to outgrow them before they outgrow it, and that's the
Mm.
power of what Onform's going to do.
To two things to your point of why Onform. Number one, go to onform.com. You'll see our phone number on there. It's a real phone number. There's a real human that'll pick that up. One of us. It rings to one of the three of our phones. Somebody's going to answer it. Number two, inside the app, if you click on your little profile picture there, you can actually come over here to this little question mark and you can get support, contact support, just like that. There's a library that you can ask questions, or you can simply ask the question. And look at that. There's three real life humans, amazing people that will get back to you. I know them all well. No, really, we have a whole support team because we know technology can be a little scary. Most coaches who went to become a golf coach didn't want to become a golf coach because they want to be a technology wizard. They really want to understand the golf swing and help people get better and all the things that PGA is known for. But
Right.
just a quick thing of like we're available. I mean, our support is hands down. Go read the reviews online. We have an amazing support team, and so I just wanted to throw that out there. And then a couple of questions that have come in just have been really good questions. I'm a PGA professional, can't afford to work at a facility due to some salaries and things like that. But like, what do you have for us that don't work at a club? And I have an answer, but what would you say for those who maybe are either not able to work at a facility or maybe giving remote lessons or things like that? It's kind of where I would go with it. Don, how would you answer a question of those who don't work at a facility? How can they can still continue to coach?
No, I mean, exactly. I mean, look at Golf Tech. I mean, could you do this in a simulator? Absolutely. That's blowing up. If you're a top tracer range, that's blowing up. I think there's PGA. Listen, the need and demand for lessons right now is high.
Mm,
So, you contact a golf course and go, hey, any way I can give lessons out here? What's your slowest day? Maybe I can book some lessons on that, and I'll give you a little piece of the revenue. Happens at Augusta Ranch, right? I've got 5 people teaching at Augusta Ranch. 3 are independent uh, directors and independent contractors. So no, I'm with you. Listen, at the end of the day, I know you're going to get way more data in there, and we'll start getting all kinds of launch conditions and things like this.
mhm,
But the basics of hitting a golf ball, whether that's at an elementary school down the street, or a driving range, or at a championship facility, the swing is the swing is the swing. The ball is the ball. I mean, whether it's a spinner because it's a 7-year-old range ball, or it's a brand new range ball on Augusta National's driving range, it doesn't matter. The swing isn't going to lie. If you're coming over the top, if the club face is open or closed, the way that they uncoil their hips, right? All of these things. Listen, don't let a location stop you from
mm.
teaching. I mean, you can give a lesson in any park down the street from your house and just, showcase the swing. I think, yeah, please don't not coach because you don't have a spot. But if you really want a spot, reach out to the facilities and see what they say.
I agree with that. And you mentioned something about connectivity, and one thing Onform is doing, and we're continuing to do, is connect more into Onform. Like we connected into the PGA Coach. How can we continue to expand this? And we're working currently right now with two different launch monitor companies. The little Garmin R10, an amazing price point to send out with your athletes and students to say, hey, go hit some balls, send me some swings, and guess what? I got a little data. And the one you see on here is from our full swing kit connection. And this is my son out there hitting balls, sending this to his coach down in Atlantic Beach. This just is a more powerful communication for him, not just swing, but now you've got 3D where the coach can take a down the line swing from Connor and his cell phone, including launch monitor data. And now the coach doesn't have to stop coaching the student in front of him. In between, can very quickly look at this, give a quick voiceover analysis, charge for it, and keep going. So we're not asking you to stop what's happening in person, take a pause, give a voiceover, continue moving on. And that's the business side of the house, right? Like, how do we continue to use technology to grow our business?
Well, and that's what Will Robbins and I were going to the PGM universities. What we're talking about is when you're going to build a relationship with a student, are you going to teach a swing or are you going to teach their score? Like, what are
Mm,
they scoring? What's the satisfaction of what they're doing? Everybody wants to, we tend to teach people what they want instead of what they need.
mm,
And what I like about this is if you get to a teaching model where a student is paying $40 a month. I mean, pick up wherever you live and whatever the pricing is, get with it. But I think we have to stop selling time. We have
mhm,
to start selling results. Will Robbins enlightened me on this. And I'm like, oh man, you're so right. I don't want to sell time. I want to sell results. You come in and say, listen, I'm going to get you, what number do you want to get you, man? If I can shoot 89, I shoot 98 right now. Or if I get you to 89, how much is that worth to you? Okay, well, I actually have a package for that. It's a monthly fee. Now these emails that are going back and forth, these videos are going back, I don't have to charge for each one because I just want to get better sooner. And I maybe require them to send me videos. Maybe they're on vacation, they're hitting balls on some range someplace else. That's all right. Send me a video. I know
right.
when my daughter played club softball, she was required to record some of her videos. She had blast motion, right? Remember when
Yeah.
blast motion was kind of
Mhm.
big? And I know they're still out there and they're doing great things. But what I do know is that she would send those swings to her coach. We've never had the ability to do that inside of the PGA Coach app. So that's why I'm really excited about it too. It blends perfectly into the modern PGA Coach, which is teaching and getting people results and not selling time and getting them on the golf course too. Now I
Mm,
can see an uneven lie. Like, hey, partner, when you're playing next week, since I can't be with you, which by the way, isn't that crazy? Golf's about the only sport where the coach never sees the players play. I can't
mhm.
imagine that. Like every one of Katie's softball practices were based on what they didn't do the previous game. They didn't hit the cutoff person, could lay down a butt, first to third was bad, right?
Mhm.
Now I can have one of my students take pictures of swings on the golf course, uneven lies, shots around the green, and I can evaluate club selection, what their strategy, what their approach was, and then of course the skill side of it. These are all things that get us on the golf course even when we can't be there, and
Mm.
that's the future of coaching.
I love the on-course coaching, right? Like take what you have in your simulator, in your bay where you coach. You've got all the cameras, all the computers, all the equipment. And oh, by the way, we have that ability to take it. We're calling it taking your studio in a backpack.
Right.
Carry another iPad, couple of stands, your iPhone, set them up, and you can be on that uneven lie. So yeah, it's perfect off the mat every time, right? But when you get out there and there's uneven lie and the wind in the face, how do we actually record and what does it look like? And that just plain lessons with your athletes is a very powerful thing.
Well,
Um,
can you imagine if I have a library of your swings on a flat driving range surface, and now you send me some swings ball below your feet or downhill or uphill lie, right? I
mhm,
can clearly show you this is why you're struggling when the ball's below your feet. You're not aligning your body to that slope, and or either it's downhill or uphill, and clearly show you that you're swaying more when you have a downhill lie. Why do you
mm,
do that? This swing never happens on a flat surface, but when you have a downhill lie, here's two swings where you started swaying with the weight. You didn't keep balance. So yes, this is the perfect way to take what's happening on the golf course, put it in your backpack, send it to your coach, and gets fixed up.
yeah. Well, listen, I've got a couple of other questions. We've got some good questions about working with online programs. I've tried to answer a couple of these on the side, just letting people be able to reach out to us. We have a full support team, like I've mentioned, is the email is support@onform.com. Happy to reach out, help anything that we can. The integration is almost ready. I've talked with your team. I believe it's the 30th of this month. Again, we're putting date. Don and you and I are going to put dates out there, and then they can deal with it. I believe it's the 30th of this month. The integration will happen. It's really simple. When you go into PGA Coach and hit that record button, if you don't have an Onform account, you can set one up. We do have a 14-day free trial, which is fantastic. Give it a whirl. Reach out. We can give you a free demo, all of that kind of stuff. We're here to help. I want to show this one. Where is it? Right here. This will just give you a little bit of information for QR codes if you wanted to scan it real quick, and you can get the PGA Coach app. I know that's a push that we want coaches to get into the PGA Coach app. This is a great way for students to find you and book with you, and to be able to find a coach in my area, and then utilizing Onform technology to help record.
Yeah, and it's not going to be perfect when you launch something, and I'm sure you're going to get emails. I'm going to get emails. Steve Tanner, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. You know what I mean? It's you're nothing's perfect when you start, but I know that you and I and the PGA of America and Onform are committed to perfecting it, and that's going to happen from feedback. It's going to happen from people going, I don't understand this screen. I had a broken link, whatever it might be. So don't beat us up too bad. Give us good feedback so we can get better. And I assure you, in a very quick way, I know your learning curve for your company is fast. We try to be as fast as we can at the PGA of America. So, hey, give us the constructive criticism if you find something that's wrong with it. I know that we're both committed to getting better at it. And so, but if it doesn't work perfectly because of the integration, it's okay. We're going to fix it. This is
Mm-hmm.
why you kind of get what you pay for. I've seen the PGA of America do this before, where we try to offer these things for free, but yet we never have the support behind it. And once again, it's just you get what you pay for. And
Well,
that's why I like this deal. I think it's a very fair price for a very in-depth, and you can take it wherever you want. You don't want all those fancy numbers, don't do the fancy numbers. Just take some videos, draw some lines, send them to your student, and show them that their head's coming up and down and they're bobbing for apples when they're swinging their club, right? So,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I'm excited about it. If we didn't have the support side of it, I'd be very scared. But
Mm-hmm.
since we do, I know we're going to get better with the questions, not worse.
And I love that the statement I've heard and listened to and used quite often is price is what you're going to pay for it, right? The value is what you're going to get out of it. And so you've gone through purchasing cars for your kids to homes to cheap things to expensive things. The price is what we're going to pay. That's the monetary exchange. The value you receive out of that is an amazing support team, a fantastic integration partnership with PGA Coach, and then at a price that is just going to be, we think, amazing, right? We're not trying to price you out of being able to utilize this toolbox. So we're really happy about the partnership. I think that we've got some amazing things to come. I've been talking with your team and the ideas that we have flowing, and Abby and Anthony, and we get on these channels and start talking about ideas and how can we make this better. It's all about the coaches. How can we make this better for coaches? It's not just, is this cool? But is it practical? Is it going to be easy and simple yet effective to help our coaches become better? So we're really excited about that. I have another question about the Android. Don, we got to answer it one more time. It's coming.
Yeah.
We're not putting an actual date on it, but our team is
Soon, so soon, coming soon.
soon. Soon. We are absolutely working very hard on getting that up to speed. Onform does have a web browser version, so you can go in and type in onform.com and you can sign in and underneath at the bottom, and it'll bring up some very basic functionality of it. And that as well is increasing, and we're getting better at that as well. So we're excited to answer that question that we do have. Android is soon. The web is getting better. We are an iOS first company, and we always will be. So I think I've sold a lot of iPads in the past several years. A lot of iPads. And it's good. You need a good iPad, don't you, Don?
Well, yeah, I mean, got to make everybody happy. It's believe me, that's my job. 31,000. That's really hard to do, but I knew you guys would have the Android app, and I fully understand starting with the iOS. I mean, we've done that before at the PGA of America too. Heck, I've done it before at Augusta Ranch, right? I mean, there's some of our point of sale softwares that didn't integrate very well with iPads. I'm like, well, we can't do it because that's
Mm-hmm.
how we're running our point of sale on our top tracer range. And so, no, I'm excited about it. I think that too. I think it's okay to say. But don't forget, I mean, the PGA of America, we are not for profit. And so some of those people are like, oh, what are you doing with the money down? Well, one, I think the relationship with you, the 10% discount, it's great. 30
Mhm.
bucks is 30 bucks. I love it. But the PGA Coach Plus, the 25 bucks a month or 250 a year, like where do you think that money's going? And it's going back to the PGA to build this product. I promise you, any money that happens with PGA Coach Plus, it's not going to float into some other department. It's going to go right
Mhm.
back into PGA Coach to make it bigger and better because we know that it's serving our mission, which is to serve the member and grow the game. So
Mhm.
yeah, for those, there's some haters out there. And they, believe it or not, I got some haters out there in social media. They're all thinking
It's not
PGA is
real.
all about the money. No, no, no.
Yeah.
It's not what the money is. It's what the money does, Nate.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
there's some money out there, but what's the money do? What's a Ryder Cup ticket? Where does that go? To
Mm.
grow the game and serve the member. What do we do with the PGA Championship? Serve the game. I mean,
Mhm.
serve the member and grow the game. A PGA Coach Plus, yeah, a little bit of incremental money's coming in, but where's it going? Back into the tool and the platform to serve the member and grow the game even better. So yeah, rest assured, our eyes on the ball. This is all
Yeah.
about we're just a big not-for-profit that dumps all of our dollars into making sure that golf is exploding. And it's working. I mean, it's growing right now.
I would say if they haven't been able to visit Frisco to see how you're pouring back into the membership, how you're making it more accessible for the members to go, like I think that should be on everyone's to-do list. I mean, this is an unpaid push to go see HQ. It's
Well,
huge.
yeah, I appreciate you saying it because, before we had a building, but now we have a campus. And
Mm,
some of those members go, what's that big $40 million building? Okay, it might have been $40 million, but we actually, worked with the town of Frisco and Omni and
mhm,
everything. So we got a better deal than that on the building. Okay, we are smart. We know what we're doing. But the doors of that building are the doors that every future PGA professional are going to walk through. The bottom floor of that building is where every PGA professional has to go to be a PGA member. So we are investing in education, technology. The teaching and coaching center, 200 yards away from our building, is once again just it's where innovation happens, and where we're going to try out innovation. We have apps right now that I know that we're working on. Chris Hart's working on that. We're
mhm.
testing in our teaching and coaching center. So to your point, we are living and breathing innovation and the future of teaching and coaching. And we're not going to do it all ourselves. We're going to team up with partners who are like-minded. And that's why Onform is our partner.
We appreciate that. Don, if we can answer, I've tried to be respectful and make sure I'm watching you and talking with you and answer very quickly on the side.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got? Anything
One
good?
question
Anything
that
about
came up that I
umpiring? Nothing about umpiring yet? I thought it'd be an umpire question.
I,
No,
I was
we're good. All
nothing
right.
yet. They were really upset over that one minor league game that you did. No.
Yeah, well, I might have. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Don, is it best to reach out to our district director to bring up some opinions or questions about this Coach Plus rollout? So I,
Yeah, I think that would be great. Now, I would first go to your board, your local board, right? But I don't mind you going to the district director. Actually, I encourage you to. One of the things I've done as president is to really encourage our district directors, our 14, that like, listen, those sections that you represent, and most of the time it's 3 sections, and in my district it's only 2 sections. But like you're their support system. Make sure the officers of those 3 sections know that you're there to help them.
mm,
So certainly going to a district director, they're a voter, and as we vote to move money around or whatever we do with it, certainly that's your voice as a PJ member is your district director. But I certainly wouldn't go around your local board. I would let them know because those officers that are in your local board or your local section board might be a district director someday. So why not just copy everybody on the email? I'd copy the president, I'd copy the ED, I'd copy the district director on every email about this. If you want to copy me, great. But I'm going to kick it back to the district director because I want the district director to know what their constituents are saying, and their members in their sections and districts. So yeah, go local. And if you want to come straight to me, go ahead. But I'm going to push it back down. But I'll kick in the people that need to know. I've done that already. So yeah, they've got a support system, whether it's you or it's me, we got to dial.
I love it. One question that I have that I can answer is what is the cost to the student for on-form? I love this question because it's free. As long as the coach is paying, your students get it for free. You know what? Invite moms and dads, invite grandmas and grandpas, guardians, whoever, invite another coach who might be looking after that student. We want everyone to experience the power of on-form. If the coach is a paying customer, the students underneath get the app for free. So That's it.
And tell me this isn't a value add. If you've never had this tool before and now you're going to start doing it, and you tell somebody, yeah, I've been charging you $30 a month, now it's going to be 32.50 or something, or whatever you do, how
Mhm.
easy it is to get back the money that you're using. I mean, not saying you have to do that, right? Value adds are great. But what I'm saying is you're about to drop a whole bunch of technology on your students. They're going to love it. And
Mm.
so you might be saying, how do I cover the 299 or the 270 or whatever it's going to be with the 10% discount? Well, I don't know. Maybe you increase your price a little bit because I'm pretty sure you're worth it. Most of our PJ professionals are underpricing themselves. Are we the doctors or not? We are. So
Mm.
charge accordingly. And I'm not saying overcharge. Once again, price is what did you say? Price is what you pay, value is what you get.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure as a PGA professional, we're giving tremendous amount of value. It's okay to raise your price a little bit to cover a couple technology platforms that are going to
Mhm.
take your teaching business to the next level.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. We get these kind of questions and that kind of feedback all the time from coaches and those who are using the app is it's expensive. And I'm like, well, the value that you're going to be able to provide your students and pass that cost on if you so choose. But at $269, it's a third of the price of a new driver, I think, something like that. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. If you got 50 students and you divide that, I'm
right.
pretty sure it's not very much to serve each one of your students for the two platforms, PJ Coach Plus, and then
Mhm.
go for Onform. What are you in about 540 or something like that? Whatever that number is, you divide that into your 50 students and how often they're going to use it over the span of a year. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure it's cheaper than a Starbucks coffee. I know that.
Boy, isn't that the truth? One thing I can throw out for you is that I've already been working. We at OnForm have been working with the team to go. How can we put together some sort of maybe even a bundled package where we do a PGA Coach Plus and OnForm, and maybe we can do something like that. So these ideas, to your point earlier, these ideas are already in the background. We're working and thinking to that end of how can we make it simple. I want to make the purchase. I want PGA Coach Plus. I want OnForm. I want them to work together and seamless and away it goes. Another question that just popped up is there a free trial? And the answer is absolutely yes. There's a free trial with OnForm. It's a 14-day free trial. So download it, play with it, utilize it. All of the features are available in our free trial. We're not going to limit anything. We want you to see and use everything. If you have questions, reach out. We have a whole team that is dedicated to giving up demos. And I've had coaches reach out and say, "Hey, I need a couple more days on that free trial." We have the power to do that, right? We're real humans, so we're willing to work with you. So I answered that question. Another one was the cost for OnForm for a PGA member. And Don, you alluded to this a couple of times, but it's 299 regular, but as a PGA
250. Uh,
two
oh, you mean for Onform?
for
Onform, yeah.
OnForm, yeah,
Two
for
nine.
OnForm as a PGA
Sorry.
member, it's 299 annually, but as a PGA member, we've got a special link that we'll send out to you, and you just put in your PGA code so we know you're real, and then or your PGA number, and it saves you 10%, so it's like 269, I think is our number, something like that. So very
It's 30
affordable.
bucks. Yeah, $30 is $30. I
Very
mean,
affordable.
yeah. And like I said, I think it's completely fair of because
Mhm.
let's hey, get ready. I mean, there's going to be a bunch of people calling you. I got a lot of older PJ members that are diving into Hope clinics and they're subsidizing their retirement right now. So you're going to get calls. And guess what? That's why we did the deal. Like I said, we could have got a technology only company, probably given it for free or something like $10. But is that really what we want? Or do you want the best? Do you want a company that's going to grow with us? Do you want a company that's going to
Mm.
outgrow us? Um, to me, I think we're hitching our wagon to a shooting star right now. And I think in 2 years, 3 years, judging by the way you guys have come in 5 years and the way you focus on innovation, I think this value, you better get in early because this is a smoking deal.
We We think so too, Don. I mean, it's been amazing to continue this partnership because that's really what it is. And this is not just a sign something and let's work together and be done. It's been amazing to work with your team and through this integration process. An hour before you and I jumped on this call, our two teams were working on just one more thing they wanted to make sure was perfect on the debugging. So to tell you that we're not just throwing it out there and hoping it works, and then going to the team and already talking about how can we innovate even more. What if this idea and what about that idea? And again, it's all centralized around how do we make technology affordable, available, and continue to innovate for the coaches. That's our goal. And as we kind of wrap up the time together, I can't thank you enough. I always feel horrible just continuing to thank, but from the bottom of my heart, I really do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you carving out the time. I know you're busy. I know you've got a lot on
We're
your
all busy,
plate.
mate. We're all busy. I promise you. There's 31,000 out there that are
Mm,
busy every day, man, making it happen. They're basically the first responders of golf, right? And there's a bunch of people out there that need some attention. So, no, I dig it. Let's do it again. Maybe we do a follow
mhm,
up, or when you launch a new software or something, let's see what everybody's doing with it. I wish I was giving more lessons right now. I mean, I'm traveling so much trying to serve our members and serve our association, much like my fellow officers, Nathan and Eric and the board. But
mhm,
this is absolutely a tool that I'm pushing to the staff of Augusta Ranch. And I'll say it too, this is just one of the many things that
mhm,
the PGA is trying to do. I mean, the reason I believe in PGA coaches, once again, is because the data of your students will always be with you.
mhm,
No other company's going to own that data. It's going to be you, and it travels with you. That's a good thing. And then when we do APIs and integrations with other softwares that are doing great things, that's still they're tapping into the database, which is us. And so your data is
mhm,
protected. And then once again, I think that we're always going to do business with companies you can trust. And that's just going to go out of business. And you're like, oh, what happened? I paid all this money. I paid the year, and then all of a sudden they didn't exist. That happens out there. Not going to
mhm.
happen here. And so when I think of PGA junior camps, and I think of, heck, all the Operation 36 that's going out there, a lot of our PGA members are using that. Whether it's PGA Junior League, whether it's Drive, Chip, and Putt, there's so many different programs, family golf, there's so many different programs that we have. And really the tangible connection between all of them is the people. And that's
Mhm.
what PGA Coach is about. It's about the people who are serving the people, and you're providing a software that's going to make that even better. So yeah, just get ready for those support calls, Lux. I got a
We're
feeling
ready.
we're gonna get a lot of support
We
calls.
are ready.
Just because I know I got some PJ members, they're like, "What? I have no idea what you're talking about." But
Send
you're
them
gonna
our
help them.
way.
I know you will, Nate. I
Send
know
them
you
our way.
will.
I'll say it one more time. It's support@onform.com. I've got my do not disturb on right now, but I can promise you as soon as we go off this thing, I hope that email is flooded because we are more than happy to jump on and answer all those questions. So, Don, if I can, double tap, man. I
Oh, double
appreciate you,
tap.
dude. Thank you, man. Thanks so much
My
for joining
pleasure.
us, everyone. Reach out if you have any other questions. We appreciate your time.